Shweta Gupta, and this presentation today is part of I Am the Future series, where we are speaking with various business leaders at Infosys. And today I have with me Dr. Nandini S, SVP Group Head Organization Development at Infosys. Thank you for being a part of this series, Nandini, and thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Very excited to to bring your stories to our audience. So let's begin by knowing you a bit more, Nandini. What are those two three adjectives that you feel describe you the best?
Someone who is extremely determined, passionate, and very, very outcome focused. This is what I've heard my teams and my peers say about me. So
Yes, these qualities of being passionate and outcome focused. Where do you think? How have you developed these qualities? Can you take us back to your childhood? Some how was your family like? Where did you grow up, and how were your parents like? Are they is how you were growing up? Is that behind this personality of being an outcome driven and a very passionate person?
my childhood has been very straightforward. It's been a very, a childhood where I grew up in diverse environments because dad had a transferable job, so he moved across locations. We were in an era where the there were not too many distractions. There was no social media. There was no um, larger circles of friends. So mine was a very conventional childhood where I focused a lot, and of course my family also gave a lot of focus on academics, on education. It was very clear that it was something we need to excel in, and also the fact that I took up a lot of challenges very early on. So I decided to do a double degree post my, during my graduation, which was not easy to achieve. Immediately after my graduation, I decided to take on a doctorate in human resource management. Again, something which needs a lot of perseverance and commitment to see it through. Else, it's all a wasted effort if you leave a doctorate program midway through. So perhaps experiences like this, it naturally brought in this characteristic in me about being determined, being very goal focused, to take anything that you um, decide to do to a logical closure. And along with the determination and the goal focus comes this entire thing about you have to be passionate if you have to achieve the goal, if you have to reach the desired goal post. So if you're not passionate, you will not enjoy what you're doing, and there is no way you will see the end result. So that again came up very naturally. So it is the way I have the formative years of my life has been, which led to who I am today, and some of these important characteristics that define me as an individual and a person today.
Can you walk us through some of those memories, some of that incidences probably when you thought when things became really challenging for you, but you sailed through. If you
I think those 5 years when I had to be on my own, suddenly become independent, suddenly become someone who will manage everything for myself, from the kind of background or the upbringing I had, to someone who has to pay attention to the coursework, uh, manage the various demands of the coursework, and still excel at it and come out of it in flying colors was a very tough situation. But yeah, um, initially it was tough, but then you get used to it. The campus is great. The education institute is fantastic. You work with the best in class minds. So suddenly, this fear and the discomfort you had turns into excitement because you have started seeing a very different world. You started interacting with people who are best in class. You develop a very different circle of friendship. When you live in hostels, when you live in places which are so far flung. So best of the friends I have today are from back when I was doing my graduation and my post graduation. So yeah, opportunities all, I mean, there is always an opportunity in an adversity, right? And that's really what I saw, both when I did my graduation as well as I did my post graduation. So I today look back at those years with immense pride, with a lot of happiness and a lot of happy memories. And like I said, my friends even today are those with whom I spent those many years going through various experiences in life. So yeah, in hindsight it was all fine, but initially there are challenges, there are times when you think of giving up, but it is really your determination and your constant nudge from your family that keeps you going. And it is important, especially in those initial phases when you go through those doubts in your mind, the anxiety and the confusion.
Do you think all those experiences have also helped in shaping up your understanding of diversity and probably inclusion? Are you drawing inferences from all those experiences today when you are in such a leadership position?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you look at who I was before those years and after, I'm a very different personality. Like I said, I grew up in a very conventional background. So probably I was very timid, shy, soft spoken, um, ex- at those stage. But the moment you are thrown into an environment like that, and you're thrown among friends who are very different. There were people who were extremely confident, they were assertive, some even aggressive, some so independent, outgoing, fun loving. So your personality changes, right? You suddenly become extreme. You become an extrovert. You're no more an introvert. You're comfortable in social circles. You are comfortable getting along with. You don't have to be. For me, it has someone had to be very close if I had to get comfortable with a friend. But now that's not the case. You get comfortable with a larger circle of people. You enjoy meeting people and spending time with them. So it gives you a lot of confidence, and a lot of that is very important in even today in my professional life or my personal life. Because those have defined my personality, and those experiences and the experiences I had in my early years of my professional life have all been so humbling, that today if I'm able to do what I'm entrusted to do by the organization in a fair and in a successful way, it is because of those experiences and how that changed and defined my personality.
What do you think we as a society can do better to ensure that women remain, like they remain in workforce and they grow in workforce? What can we do better as a society? What can probably companies do better as corporates to ensure that they give that level playing field, and they give that conducive environment to all genders to for them to thrive?
The biggest part someone has to play is the individual itself, is the women itself, right? I think a big part of the issue today, I'm not denying that the environment and the context also has a role to play, and I'll come to it. But a large, I mean, 70% of the responsibility is on the women. And if they are not aware of it, if they are not ready for it, no matter what the environment or the company or the system can do, it won't work. Then what do women need to do? Women need to realize that there will be stages in your personal and professional life where it is not about one over the other, right? It is about balancing both. It is about treading that thin line, knowing very well you can't be perfect here, you cannot be perfect here. It is about the trade off, it is about the balance. You should be very clear in your mind that that's how you will continue that journey. So I was very clear, right? I was very clear that for the sake of my career, I will not let my personal life suffer. And for the sake of my personal life, I will not let my career suffer. I have always lived life by my own terms, right? I have never I know that I used to come to work at a point in time, and I used to leave office at a certain time because I knew I had to get back home by 5:45, 6, because my nanny would leave, and there is no way if I keep testing her patience, I would lose that support system I have, and I cannot keep changing nannies, and that's really not good for the kids. So I was extremely brutal. I will reach office at 8 and I will leave at 5, come what may. I mean, there could be one off here and there, but on a regular basis. And it used to be very, I mean, people would look at me, right, in a very odd way to say, yeah, you have a meeting, you have this, you have that. I would say, yeah, I mean, let's do it between 8 and 5. There is a lot of time available, 9 hours. But luckily, I always had great managers. I early For a large part of my initial years, it was a women manager who understood it. But even later, my other managers, the men, they were extremely professional. They were extremely, they understood. So they always gauged my performance based on outcomes and not by things like how much time you spend, etc. So yeah, I think there are some times when you have to be very ruthless, and you have to be very clear on your terms and conditions. What organizations can do is not to create these artificial barriers, right? Gauge them by their performance and outputs. Like I said, wherever it is merit based, I've seen women do far better job. I've always also seen women do an extremely sincere and authentic job about the time they spend at work. There is very little wastage. There is very little distractions. I know many of my team members who have small kids who need to go back. Even their lunch breaks are pretty much not there. They would eat at their desk in between work. I hardly see them take off. Not to say that you should not do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think all these are important too, to build social capital. But I've seen how diligent they are. So I think just entrust them with the job and measure them based on outcomes, and not create these artificial barriers of work hours, work time, this, etc. They'll be fine. And I think you just have to um, you know um, cushion those few years when women is really in tenterhooks trying to balance both.
Nandini, what can you tell us about your journey at Infosys? And also do talk about, like you were just saying, that you have to just help someone in those years when they are able to, when they're just trying to strike a balance. How were those years specifically like when you were at Infosys? And you also spoke about that you had you were working with a women leader at once upon a time in your career. So do also speak about that. How these little experiences helped enable you in this journey at Infosys?
Infosys is a phenomenal organization, right? It is an organization which the culture, the DNA, the fabric, the kind of people you have here, a woman pretty much feels so comfortable, so safe, so secure to work here. It's not, I mean, it's not just about when you have a child and you have to manage or balance. It is even otherwise, right? You don't have to worry about anything. So it is a phenomenal organization. I mean, I say it with utmost sincerity, because I have been here for 22 plus years. I have worked with various leaders, but it is really the fabric and the DNA of the organization. And I was lucky to be part of one such organization, right? That's really your luck, and how the cards that life deals you with. I was also lucky, in fact, that I started my career under a women leader, a women manager, who was again, and spent a large part of my career with her, who was again an extremely progressive individual, who measured performance based on outcomes, who looked at relationships with her team as a very personal relationship. So she took equal interest in my personal well-being as it is about my professional success. So when that happens for you, work becomes a home away from home, and that's really how I look at Infosys. In fact, she helped me draw those terms and conditions. She taught me those terms and conditions. She taught me when I came back from my maternity leave after my first child. She taught me where how to draw the boundaries, because she said if you don't draw the boundaries, you will not sustain your career. So And today, I mean, I was lucky, right? I learned it from her. Today I do it and I teach it to my team. That's really how you need to continue this legacy of um, helping women succeed, helping women move forward.
What else do you think can, if say an aspiring professional is listening to this interview right now, what else can they learn from your journey? What can their key takeaways be from this conversation?
Keep at it, right? Don't give up. um, I think women need to internalize that there will be these inflection points in their personal and professional life. They need to be equally wedded to both. If you're not equally wedded to both, you're very often I mean, being wedded and being passionate about your family and kids is given, it's natural. But very often women feel that career is okay. They feel, you know what, let me take a break and come back. It's okay. I'm anyway, mine is not the primary career. My husband's is the primary career. They feel that, it's okay to come back at a later stage when things, are comfortable. That's really where the issue is. Like I said, that I think women need to remember that that option does not exist. And I'm not, I know it's tough, right? You need to have the right support system. You need to, so many things need to fall in place. But just have to see how to work it out and not give up so easily. So just try and see how you can pull it through. Never believe that your career is the second one and your husband's is the first one. Both of you have to believe that it's the same. But yeah, I think if someone doesn't understand it, naturally help him understand, right? That's about it. But never believe that your career can be the second fiddle, right? Yours is also equally important. I think women need, that's why I said a large part of this change can come if women address their mindset, and they will have to be very, very bullish about it.
What kind of impact are you hoping to create with your work? What are the things you want to achieve as you go forward in your profession, in your life?
I don't think ahead, right? All I look at is what I do should be something which is impactful, which is adding value to myself and to the organization. So I should be able to look at myself in the mirror with pride every day. I should not compromise on work ethics. I should not compromise on values. That's number one, because that's really the kind of person I am. I should be able to spend the time I spent not getting bored, right? I mean, it's a lot of time you spend on a single every day, 5 days a week, and 22 days a month. I mean, I cannot just sit and stare at the screen. I should be excited. I should be doing many things. I should be trying out stuff. I should be enjoying what I do. That's all I care for. So my conscience should be clear, number one. Second, the time I spend during the day should be something I enjoy spending, and not something that I dread, coming to every single morning and saying, my God, another day and another week. So that's really, so these are all only two things that I look at. The rest is, there is God, there is what is there in your destiny that will take care of everything. But you do your bit. These are only two things I look at.
Thank you. These are such simple but yet so powerful things. Thank you so much for sharing all these learnings and all these insights with us. I'm sure everyone who's listening to this interview would have learned and picked so many things. Everyone who tuned in, thank you so much. We will have more such interviews lined up, so please keep watching this space and keep reading your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Anika. Thank you, everyone.